You defeat Enzo and Cass in London Takeover to defend. Talk a little bit about them as a tag team, them and them now.
Yeah, Enzo and Cass were incredible, dude. Like the big first marquee matchup we had was in London Takeover. One of my favorite road trips we ever took. Road trips, we flew there, but one of my favorite trips we ever took. And that match was so beautiful. Everyone, all the fans thought that we had been built up as champions just to drop the belts to those guys. And we had this match. And dude, I can still remember right now the sound that I got when Enzo gave me the rocket launcher, gave Cash the rocket launcher. Bam, 1, 2. I pulled his feet out, and everyone thought it was a 3, and they were lost their minds. And and then I grabbed Carmella and put her in front of me. She turned around, she gave me the slap. Cass charged in at me. He took a post. Boom. We went inside, got a tag in, and we gave Enzo the super shatter machine where I came off the top with Enzo and Cash gave him the shatter machine. 1, 2, 3. That match was one of my favorites. And again, another eye-opening match that we could just build onto our legacy and also our resume. And then we fast forward to we get the call that we're going to go to the main roster and work, not move up to the main roster. We're going to go to the main roster and work a pay-per-view Roadblock. And it's Enzo and Cass against myself and Cash. And everyone thought that we were going to lose for sure. They were finally going to get the belts. We had this match. Please, I'm begging everyone to go back and watch that match. The timing is perfect. God, it sounds like I'm putting myself over, but the heat is perfect. The false finishes are perfect. They play their part so well. The crowd's incredible. And then we give Big Cass the shatter machine on the floor, which hurt like hell. And then we did the opposite of what we did in London, where Cash came off the top with the double knees, and we gave Enzo the shatter machine and won that one. And that one opened up a lot of eyes to the main roster. We got texts from a lot of people like John Laurinaitis and Hunter, Scott Armstrong about how much they loved that match and, how that was tag team wrestling. So those are 2 matches that I didn't want to gloss over. Also don't want to gloss over the fact that Hunter told me and Dan before the feud, as the feud was getting started, he said, obviously these guys are super entertaining and obviously they're super over, but for them to move up to the main roster, we have to make sure they can make money and make people feel. And so that was the job of our feud with them. I was pretty sure we weren't going to drop the belts to them ever because they were going to go to the main roster pretty soon, but he trusted us in giving them a money-making feud and making them fight and not just be a comedy act. And that's one of the things I'm super proud of as well. I know Enzo gets a lot of flack for not being a great technical wrestler, but I think it's only because he's so good on the mic and he's so charismatic. We learned more from Enzo and Cass than almost anybody in wrestling. We learned like pacing with those guys. We learned when to take a moment and allow things to breathe. And we also learned that, those guys were so over, man. We learned how to work, that we learned the difference in working with someone who is over and working with someone who's good. Because at the time we were trading matches, we were working with those guys, but we were also working with American Alpha. And at the time, American Alpha weren't over yet. So we're going out, and we weren't either. So we're going out with those guys and we're tearing the house down. I'm not even kidding. Every night, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And we get the reactions that we want. It may take a while, but we get there. But working with those guys allowed us to understand the difference in working with someone who is good and in the process of getting over, and working with guys who are already super over. And so it just they were way better than people give them credit for.